St James's Catholic Church, just by the Forbury in Reading, and we're here for a friendship walk.
A lot of bad information that is passed in the name of faith, religion and God, that it's just nice to be able to gather together here, acknowledge our belief in God, and to acknowledge that we worship God in different ways, but we have enormous respect for each other. So this helps us to know the people who are in leadership positions in the various faith communities, and it also enables us to give the opportunity to individuals within the town who may have concerns about faith, religion, so it gives them a chance to view the place for themselves and see how we are behaving ourselves and what we're up to and what's our purpose and goal.
We like to mix with people of other faiths. We like to show people around our synagogue. We like to visit the mosques and the temples and the churches. So we feel we're just part of the general Reading community, and it's better for people to mix together to learn about each other's faiths with a lot of misinformation. So the more that you learn from each other, the better.
There are a lot of things which are based on misunderstanding, misconceptions, and lack of information about other faiths. And I think the least we can do is bring people together. And this is very strange when people come together and talk to each other. Then they find a lot of common ground with each other. And that is what we are trying to achieve in Reading. And I hope that message spreads to other parts of the country. And people just come and talk to each other. That's the problem. They don't talk. They just do things without knowing the real issue.
Reading is such a diverse town, and we don't have any issues here at all, and it seems like everybody wants to get on and just be friends, and I think it's very important that we all support this.
The purpose of the group as a whole is to get people together and to get them talking. And really, walking and talking is the simplest thing that you can do to get people together. You throw in some refreshments, you throw in some stirring speeches, and everybody has a chance to talk to somebody of another faith. That's the point. They've all talked to their own faith, so let's get talking about another faith with another member of the congregation.
It's very important for me and for others, I believe, to come on this interfaith walk, because I believe that we've got to build bridges, big bridges, with other people from other areas of our social lives.
Hello, I'm Chris. I go to St Luke's Anglican Church in Early Road, but I also have associations with St William of York Church. And in fact this church here. I've been coming on interfaith walks for several years now, but this will actually be the first time I've gone to the places in West Reading rather than East Reading, where East Reading is where I live. I like very much the idea of visiting each other's places of worship and understanding a bit more about each other. I've never been to the synagogue, although I have met the rabbi. I've never been to the mosque in West Reading either, so that's why I decided to come this time in particular, even though it's horrible weather, and I really enjoy the walks and the meeting of people.
A few years ago my son told me about this walk, and I think I've come probably for 5 years running. What I particularly like about it this year is that it's going west out of the town centre instead of east. Everywhere we've gone, we've always been made very welcome by the different groups or churches, and I'm sure that it will be the same again this year, although unfortunately we're not having the good weather this year that we've had in the past. I wouldn't know where
connected at the time of priests were in Britain as well.
This is my first experience of the Interfaith Walk. I've come because I think friendship between faiths is important, and sharing knowledge about different faiths is important, especially in Reading, where there are people of many faiths.
Reading Interfaith Group has a long way to go, but we're all ready for it. We hope to finish it by 6 o'clock.
Next stop. This, as you well know, is an interfaith friendship walk, which has been in the town for very many years. Normally, we have many more than we have today, but I guess the inclement weather hasn't helped us in our efforts to gather people to come on this walk. You will know, I think, we're going to see when we'll go to that pocket. Here to Reading Minster Church of St. Mary Virgin. From there we go to the mosque at Wayland Street, and after that we head towards the synagogue, right? We end up in the synagogue. So we have 4 main stops. Roman Catholic, Church of England, Muslim who had the church built here, and he sold the remaining part to Reading, I don't say Reading Borough Council, I guess, Reading Corporation in those days, it would be. Having bought all this square, as it were, from the Crown. The church here, the architect is Pugin, whose 200th anniversary that we are celebrating this year. So this is a rare Pugin church. It is not Gothic. We suspect that he was given the direction really that it was to be in some way similar in design to the Abbey, and hence the kind of design that we have. We are currently painting, and we've gone to a lot of trouble to kind of discover what was his designs like. And there are several churches around that have Pugin designs, so we have had to put our plans before the Historic Churches Committee, and for them to agree to the work that's being done here. So this particularly here, what we call the sanctuary area, is in the process of being restored more like to what Pugin would have designed. On your way out, you might like to have a look at the hinges on the door and the door itself. We don't have any old hinge. We have a magnificent design hinge door, so you might have a look at it. So lots of things are kind of specialized to him. I need also to say that this was an extension in the 20s, and the builder did his best to try and kind of connect it in. We would say this is a reasonably good piece of work. However, looking across this side, this is the 60s, and I don't think that the builder really understood what he was doing when they designed this. So I'm afraid it was built to accommodate more people, but it doesn't really enhance the church one little bit. Sorry about that. So we've had the walls cleaned, we've had the painted, we're currently on the floor, the terrace is coming out very well. the marble is much more difficult. We're putting a new floor, a new wood floor on the sanctuary. Okay. St. James and the Abbey. The Abbey was a Benedictine community, as many of you will know, who were here for quite a long time. And they, in those days, to have a piece or a part of a holy person was very much treasured. And they were bequeathed the hand of St. James. And it made the church, of the Abbey rather, a place of pilgrimage. So lots of people came from all over the country to Reading Abbey to see the hand and in some sense to feel closer to God, being closer to Holy Man. The Abbey was destroyed. The hand, the alleged hand, and I need to say alleged hand, is now in Marlow. We had it here 2 years ago when we had the visit of the confraternity of St. James. Some of you may have seen the film called The Way. The Way is about the Camino through northern Spain to Santiago de Compostela. It's growing at an enormous rate. You can actually go on horseback, you can cycle or walk. But lots of people are making the journey. Climbing and walking are very much things that people do, and so lots of people actually do the walk in northern Spain. The confraternity have now actually published a little book which tells us of the pilgrimage from Reading Abbey to the coast, going through Winchester. They have recently found a body with a shell, and the 3 shells, which are the emblem of the town of Reading, are in fact the emblem of St. James. We will have them on 2 walls here when it's finished. Lots of on the chair here, you can see the shell. So the shell is very important. We're about to we have a statue of St. James, and we're about to do the walls around it, reflecting the life of St. James and something of the Camino and the Cathedral at Santiago de Compostela. So how's that?
The idea of the lantern is to represent the light of friendship and the common values that we have and that we share in this, our town of Reading. And we are going to be inviting anyone who is from a community or from a faith group that is not going to be visited on the path to carry this, to make sure that they are included and part of this walk in a very special way. So I'd like to ask Bev, since we're walking in your direction but we're not going to get quite as far into Tylers as your church, would you like to be the first to carry the...
Thank you very much.
The torch of friendship and fellowship and our common humanity here in Reading.
I think we've been on all these walks, or pretty well all of them, and I think it's really important that we show that we are all on the same journey, just going perhaps from slightly different routes.
I believe it's important, especially these days, that people should, in fact, work together. There's too much suspicion of each other, and this sort of event overcomes that suspicion.
Yeah, we're getting things organised. Quite a lot of people.
So
such as what? Is it a standard TV or is it one?
Thank you.
I think you've played the organ in the church here, haven't you? You have indeed. He's a very good organist. He played a big part of this magnificent thing and made a bagel. That was how on our organ made. That was good. It was good to see you. The Minster is the oldest church in Reading, and we can date our consecration back to about 979. And some of the congregation actually remember it. I don't share it with the people of Reading. It doesn't belong to me, it doesn't just belong to the Church of England, it belongs to the people of Reading, and it belongs to the people of Berkshire. And it's good when there are great occasions, when we celebrate the Queen's Jubilee, or on sadder occasions when we remember the death of Princess Diana, or we have a rail crash, that people come here to pray. And from my point of view, God is God. And people come of all faiths and none. And it was lovely on Saturday when I came in and I said, "What are you doing?" Sitting on the floor. And he said, "I'm saying my prayers." And I said, "Well, why don't you use a pew?" He said, "Because I need to orientate myself to Mecca." And it was really good. "Do you mind?" I said, "No, of course I don't mind. It's our Father's house, it's God's house, and you are welcome here to pray. But why don't you move from here into the chapel where you won't be disturbed and people won't be tripping over it?" So he did. And that was really good. For down the centuries, for over 1,000 years, men and women, boys and girls have come to this holy place to worship God. And I suspect, even before it was a Christian site, it was perhaps a pagan site as well. Between the two rivers, on a high point, it was more than likely that we took it over when Christianity came to these islands. But you're very welcome, and it's good that we come together in this ancient building today to pray to God and to think about one another and to learn to love one another. I think that's all I've got to say. I think I heard a click of a door out the back, so I'm just going to see whether the boys have arrived. Is there anything else you need me to do or to say? Apart from, well, sorry? The winning lottery ticket next week. Well, yes, there's a lovely joke about that now. I'll tell you and Cal John later, probably. It's about throwing the collection up in the air and what comes down, anyway. You know it.
It's mine, yes.
The church wardens of this church bought these pillars, arches, these roofs for something like £5.17 and 6 months 3 farthings, which in those days was a lot of money, an awful lot of money. But if you look at the roof, it's almost like that, basically like that. If you turn it up this way, it looks like a ship. And if you see the Mary Rose, Henry's flagship, down at Portsmouth, you can see how it's very similar to the sides of a ship. Because this part of the church, called the nave, navis, ship, is where the people met. And for the Christians, we say the church is the ship of life. It guides us through life, and I think that's good. So it's in this part of the church that everything happened. Beyond the screen here was the clergy part. But down here, you had everything from the market meeting to people selling and buying. Cockfighting and bear baiting wasn't allowed because that would spill blood, and we don't do that in God's house. So this was a very important part of the church. Over there you've got 13th and 14th century work. This side is 19th century, and the little chapel where we're having some work done, where normally the Blessed Sacrament would be kept, that archway is the oldest part of the church above ground. Yes, the archway, that's why the
Where did they practice? Before church, after church?
Pardon?
Where did they practice? Before church, after church?
I should think during the sermon to get the preacher.
Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining in the walk, and thank you for inviting me. It's so lovely to see so many religions all coming together, because this is what Reading is all about. We are a very cohesive town, and I'd like it to stay that way. Thank you.
Pos, would you like to carry the lantern to the next stage, please?
We haven't seen each other for ages, and it's so nice to catch up with you and with loads of people from all different communities in Reading.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really nice to see everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is lovely, and you know, even given the weather, it's still good to get together.
Yeah, if we can't turn out for each other when the weather's rubbish, then hey, what's it all about?
Yeah, and I think one of the things about us both being Catholics is that, you know, we're there for people of any faith or no faith.
Definitely.
And so it's particularly appropriate that we come
Definitely. Yeah.
all be here together as one human family in the end.
Yeah,
I've come from St John's Church in Caversham, and this is my 4th year of doing the Interfaith Walk. And the weather's dwindled a few numbers this year, but it's lovely to come on this walk and see so many people and see different faiths and see the different buildings. And yeah, it's a nice feeling with different groups coming together. By coming on the walk, I've learned, a lot about other faiths, and there's all one common denomination of us coming together and being tolerant and respecting each other.
Is your service on a Saturday?
Sunday.
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes. And what form
Sunday
does
is
it take?
Sunday is the Sabbath, and we're Christians, and so we start off with lessons, a Sunday school lesson, and then we finish with sacrament, where we take bread and water in remembrance of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ.
Yes. Do you have a very full community every Sunday morning?
Yes, we
Are
do.
you many?
We have approximately 250 attend on a Sunday with us regularly here in Reading. We belong to part of a stake, so we have a Reading ward, a Whitley ward, an Oxford ward, a Newbury ward, Basingstoke, Farnborough ward, and Bracknell ward. So we often,
each of those places has their own church?
Has their own church and their own congregation. And then from large events, like we had last night, plays on a stage done by each ward, we all come together, and that can equal up to 1,000, possibly more.
And that has to happen in Reading because it's the biggest church.
That's right, yes.
Yes.
My boss, if you like, is the Bishop of Reading, and it's very good to have him here with you as well today. On what really is hardly a walk, it's more like a swim, I think.
Yeah. Thank you. It's really good to be here with you. Some of you I would have met before, some of you I won't have met before. I am Andrew, Bishop of Reading, and I've been Bishop of Reading for about 18 months. Before that, I was living and working for 9 years in Ethiopia, covering the Horn of Africa. And you probably know that in Ethiopia, Christians and Muslims have always got on very well side by side, not just in the same village, but often in the same family. And in Addis Ababa, there was a Jewish community, there was a Hindu community as well. But I was in Ethiopia, I was part of a much larger Anglican beast, really, called the Diocese of Egypt, North Africa, and the Horn of Africa. So it took in 9 countries, and it was sort of Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, Egypt, then down to the Horn, which I was responsible for, which is Ethiopia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somalia, and Somaliland. And of course, as you know, I'm sure you've been watching the news, that the Arab Spring in Cairo in Egypt, again in Tunisia, but a very sort of a more genteel version, and then real ructions, of course, in Libya. But also, just in the last week or 10 days, clearly huge unhappiness, huge pain caused to the Muslim community by people doing thoughtless things. And I just want to say that I'm really embarrassed and sorry about those things. I want to be working very closely with people of all faiths and none. But it's a great honour for me to be here with you this afternoon and to take part in this walk of friendship, and that's really what it's all about. And I'm just looking forward to conversations as we walk around Reading together. I'm not sure where we're going actually, so I'll just follow you really. But it's this wonderful opportunity to be with you. Thank you so much, and may blessings be upon us all. Thank you.
We're happy to be here for the Interfaith group, and really what it means to us, we're so overjoyed really that everybody can come together in a community and kind of have similar backgrounds, but also to share beliefs and to intermingle with each other.
I think a great thing is that we all are here to worship God. We've seen with the various beliefs how belief can help us, and that's really what we're here doing, and sharing our beliefs with people and being able to show that different beliefs do get along, no matter what you believe in, really. So.
Raining any more, thankfully. When he was there, but
Yeah,
never stop being
Yes, I'm Rodney Oliver, a solicitor from Reading, and I specialise in immigration. I do a lot of work now with the Christian Solidarity Worldwide, who represent and pray for persecuted Christians all over the world. Recently we've had incidents in Pakistan where the Muslims have attacked through blasphemy so-called statements, and Iran, of course, has been a problem, and even in China, the Christians are persecuted. So I do, from a practical point of view, by writing to the ambassadors, the government, and it does make a difference, because in Iran, Pastor Mecca Badani was actually released last week after being in prison for over 1,000 days for blasphemous statements, which he denied. So we're very, very fortunate indeed, and we actually pray once a week at our church, St Andrew's, Caversham, for this particular purpose.
Yes, well, the sort.
Coming together, and what we can do, the right all capability. There are so many people, and that is very heartening. That at least we are making some of those trying to put together. There are so many common grounds between the two states. It is just we need the opportunity to now, this is Mr. Chaudhary. He is the chairman of the mosque. Everything that you see, he has put a lot of effort into this. So I hand you over to Mr. Chaudhary.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. In this wet, windy afternoon, you are so brave. I do not go and join in the mark, but you all are so brave and sincere for the cause. That's why we have come all this year in this weather. This mosque, which we have already said, that started in 1996, November 1996. It's only a small church of all World Mission. We started that, buying that church. They moved down to further down for it with that premises. And as this is already another announcing that this is centrally placed in the town center. This is very, very popular, and we found that it is too small to have our communication and provide this. So this was just the mosque was not the left side, we had a corridor up there, and this aspect of and upstairs we had a couple of small rooms. So we bought the house, we got painting from a Jewish brother. He was a single person doing that. We bought from him, and he integrated that church premises, the Jewish brother's house, and we developed upstairs and downstairs. Downstairs we had no facilities or education or private facilities. We made a good effort and made facilities downstairs for education and private facilities. So if anyone needs to go to the toilet, it's all there, the facilities already there. Right, and we got a mixed congregation, like from someone, physically or he or her faith or emotion. And Islam says that we cannot be true Muslim unless we believe in other religions like true faith and prophets. So to be a Muslim, we got to believe in other faiths and other prophets, other messengers. To be a true Muslim. So that's how or Islam is tolerant about other faith and, religion. So that's in short the idea of Islam that, okay, you propagate your faith, but peacefully. You do not criticize other people. The good side of your religion, if someone is convinced and wants to know, okay, talk to him or her, but do not try to, do not canvas people of other religion as to come to Islam, or does not put any pressure on, not put any pressure on others. Okay. So do you have any question about any point I mentioned so far? Please. Feel free and ask me if you have any questions.
I just want to know how you celebrate your services. Do you have masses or prayer sessions or?
Right. We got 5 times prayer. That is important on all, adult men and women.
Right.
No exception. So we come to congregation, which is not compulsory, especially for the ladies, which is not, or which is optional, totally optional. They can say their prayer at the workplace, at home,
right,
anywhere. But for adult men, they should come sometime to congregation. Otherwise, we can say our prayer at home.
Yes.
But must say prayer 5 times a day.
Right.
And we hear some people say it is southeast, sort of, or 250, southeast. And we, for our prayer, we should not have to have a mosque. It's not communication that we should have a mosque. But we can say our prayer anywhere, but in case if there is a clear, smelly, dirty thing, then we cannot pray there. But we can pray on grass, on stone, on a piece of cloth, thinking that this place is not clean enough. You can just spread a clean sheet of paper, cloth, and pray there. But to pray, you've got to be clean, like you must have, bath ourselves, clean ourselves, and you need ablution like a sort of, washing up.
Yeah.
So, you should not just go anywhere, come from anywhere, and stand and pray.
I know that's what I heard. You have to keep your orifices clean, that sort of thing, to be prepared.
In other words, cleanliness is godliness.
Yes.
Our cleanliness is not just do the washing, of course, do the washing and clean themselves.
Well, yes.
But there's some sort of ritual way of cleaning. We follow that ritual.
Well, you've got to keep your nose clean, your ears, your mouth, that sort of thing, to be clean. Before you yes.
Face,
That's what I heard from a friend of mine.
Inside the mouth, inside the nose, but those are not compulsory, but cleaning the face up to and feet.
Yeah, and feet, yes.
I've been to several older mosques in southern Europe, principally Albania, and on the right-hand side, as you face the Mecca, they have some steps where the imam goes up to say prayers on holy days. Why don't you have one here?
We have one here.
There is one.
Yeah. That's it.
And it's got a level.
Ah, yes, sometimes it's higher.
Communication, and if you want that to see you, then go a bit higher. Otherwise, it's not necessary. Only 3 steps are necessary, and it is only on Friday prayer the imam should stand there and deliver his sermon.
So you would bring that out, would you, to face the full? It stays there, is it?
And we cannot place it centrally, and each try to accommodate the maximum people. As on Friday, we say our prayer everywhere. The way you came, all these places are occupied. In the past, when you see, you got red marking and yellow marking. First, yellow, red to red is real. So first people stay there. And if you see more people coming, we say, switch to blue lines. If more people coming, say, half of the congregation step on, one step further, and half of the congregation one step, right. So we accommodate more people. That's why, once we finish our work, what we leave, we shall put on, that many body for people sometime in the second. Thank you. Okay.
Two questions. Do you pray in Arabic and do you have a set prayers?
Right. We can, or actual prayer, not to be in Arabic.
In Arabic?
And, yeah. But we can, I am from Bangladesh.
Yes.
I speak Urdu also.
So you pray in Urdu?
No, we can pray, we can ask God, Allah, in any language, but especially for what Salah, namaz or Salah,
yes,
it got to be in Arabic. The reason is that Quran is in Arabic, and meaning of Quran is something, I would say, touching thing that you cannot be translated in any other language. People is this and full meaning.
So do you pray in Urdu and do you make your own prayer? But you said no, you don't always pray in Arabic. Not everybody can read Arabic or speak Arabic.
For basic, you watch the saying Salah, we advise everyone to learn that portion of Quran by heart. Quran, it's not necessary for everyone to learn the whole Quran, but to say prayer, it is necessary to learn some parts of the Quran, which is necessary to, discard the duties of saying Salah in Arabic. As in any other language, it could not get a meaning behind this.
There's a new mosque being built in Oxford Road. Do you have a relationship with that congregation?
All the trustees come here once, they're so familiar with them, and it's and South Street. Some delegation of can be like how you stand, holding your leg, or holding your leg, or put your hand there, with that. These are minor variations are there. Otherwise, all the mosques are the same. And especially with that mosque, once they are there, ask when other people mosque, we are very close. All very
Could you give us
like ladies to women, or do you separate them out when you go to the mosque?
We keep them separate.
Right.
For the good of them, for the good of us.
Right.
And I would say, if you put fire and water together, the world goes, water will lose its quality.
So why is it that they actually keep them separate as a supplementary question?
We see that, first of all, let's say, keep them separated. They are in the same mosque, but not
in separate rooms?
not stand side by side.
No, right. So you have them in one half of the room, women, and men in this half?
Yes, men should be in the front, and should be at the back. But men should be everywhere, when on the free man stand, or there should be, there should be having the goal. Right. He's good for it. So orientation and You see, mixed education, laws and whatever, and simple sex, school, good and bad, but it's something that give them honor, or give them honor to society. So that you can concentrate, they can concentrate on their.
But what about the children? What do you do for children, girls and boys? Do they come as well, or are they separate again?
We have 100 kids in the morning.
Yes, right.
For learning Islamic education and learning Quran, and then for arts and boys. But once they become,
we have to develop the friendship and to explain the people that we are all together, and we all have to believe, that we are all have to live together with the love.
Don't stop.
One of them, and the most commonly eaten Islamic food, is apple with honey. Apple as a symbol of fruitfulness. In Judaism, it doesn't have the same association with Adam and Eve as it does elsewhere. Probably the one with Adam and Eve came through the idea that malus, which is the Latin word for apple, also is the word for evil. And so there's a discussion in the Talmud, what was the fruit that Adam and Eve ate? And some of them think it was a fig, and some of them think it was corn, which is an emblem of civilization. The apple is fruitfulness, and the honey is sweetness. And what we want to do, and what we want to say when we eat apple and honey, is that everyone should have a happy, sweet new year in the year ahead. And so I wish everyone